Welcome back to another Flashback Friday. Today we'll be looking at 2008's Iron Man, directed by the great Jon Favreau. Man, what an amazing director.
He's come back for if they do 4.
Maybe. So, starring Robert Downey Jr. This is the movie that kicked off the MCU. This is the granddaddy right here where it all started. So, funny fact, when I had to be like a junior. I feel like it was a few months before this movie came out. We were doing a report on celebrities or something, I forgot. And I did a report on Robert Downey Jr. And it was all about his drug addiction and his drug habit and how he kind of fell from grace. Mm-hmm. And so, leading up to this movie, he hadn't been in really any movies. Like, he was kind of blacklisted. And so, coming into the movie, I thought Robert Downey Jr. was dead. And so when I saw him, I was like, oh God, dude's alive. I just did a report on him. And so I'm like, but why did they pick him? He's got issues. Like, You're starting this superhero movie. Why pick this guy that no one likes anymore? But this was the resurgence. He showed that the character they were going with fit him perfectly because he had those party boy issues. He had that rich man complex and all that.
Robert Downey Jr. playing Robert Downey
Jr.
Jr.
They were like, let's write this movie about Robert Downey Jr. And it was like, let's put him in an Iron Man suit. It's like, hey, there's a movie already about that. Or a comic. Let's just change it into that. But anyway, so I liked it. I definitely like everything he did. He embodies Iron Man. We talked about this when we talked about Blade. Wesley Snipes is my Blade. Robert Downey Jr. is everybody's Iron Man.
Yeah.
But I will say that I am one of the few people, I think, that grew up watching the Iron Man cartoon because they actually had one. And Tony Stark wasn't like this. Tony Stark was Latino, had a laid-back, smooth perm. He was not a party boy. He was very much like Captain America almost. And I like all the comics and games and everything you see now is a iteration of what Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark is.
Which I always wondered because I was never a huge reader of Iron Man. So
you guys know me. I didn't read the comics, but watching the shows, he had a small show on Disney, and Tony Stark wasn't like this. Yeah. So they brought in a different spin. They picked the right guy to play him.
Yeah, so that obviously is the number one thing for me, and I don't remember even then the reports if there were any controversies of his casting. I don't know when he got clean and stuff either, but that would have been interesting to report on now. Like if we had, I don't even know who's a big like drug addict actor now, but if they, someone casted him, I'm sure it would be a big story. So,
I got one. The redhead chick, Lindsay Lohan.
Oh Jesus,
playing Miss Marvel.
yeah, almost.
Okay, sorry.
That could be it. Well, I don't even know what I was going to say now. The movie. So, the movie, I don't think it was a huge deal for me because Dark Knight came out the same year. And so that was a huge deal. But even today's standards, I like what I liked about the movie. Tony Stark, obviously, Robert Downey Jr., played an amazing himself and brought a lot more to that character, like you were saying. And set up the character for future, so that's a pretty big milestone there. The story, and we got to see how Disney, or did Disney own it back? Yeah, Disney owned it. Disney was going to kind of move forward with their movies and the tones and everything, and they've stayed true to that the whole way, even I guess up until Civil War a little bit. So, like you said, it kicked it off. And it was a fun movie, and it was entertaining, and it was something that we kind of never really saw before, so that was very innovative. The thing I had a problem with was the villain. I don't even remember his name now.
Obadiah Stane, a.k.a. Iron Mongol.
Okay, there you go. I didn't really, he didn't get me too interested just because his villains that start off as like a businessman or CEO and then kind of transition to a villain but are just a mean version of themselves, I kind of have a problem with. And I think the example I could also use is with Ant-Man and Yellow Jacket, sorry. yeah, it just doesn't. It's not very enthralling for me to see that businessman kind of transition to a villain. So that was kind of one problem I had. But again, it's the first movie in a franchise. You can make it work, and you know it was all right. It didn't take that much away from the movie. So yeah, I liked it, and it was a good kickoff.
See, this is different. Sal was a communications major. I'm a business major. The business corporate world are villains. That's what Sal doesn't understand. That it makes perfect sense. They're already evil. But I disagree on that. I did like it. I saw it as because he was a friend of his father. Obadiah was a friend of Howard Stark, which is Tony's father. And, you know, that's the old way they did Stark Industries, defense weapons. And I saw it as a physical fight for a metaphorical or philosophical thing, which was Tony shifting from the old school way of weapons and violence to going into something that helps him. And so he provided that physical manifestation of his old self and his old company. And so after beating him, he was able to go ahead with the new Stark Industries. So I like that, but that's just me because I'm cool. Now, Sal, what would you grade it looking back?
I haven't seen it in a while, so this might be an unfair grade. We're gonna say 7.5.
Ooh, okay.
But I like again, that's with a grain of salt. I have not seen it in a long time.
I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Okay.
I think the movie was excellent. I haven't seen it in a while, but I know I saw it when it came out. I was excited. I went in with no expectations, but I saw it, loved it, and then when it came out, I watched that movie like over and over. So I've seen it enough. I can say like just the opening scene and the stuff with him getting captured, and you know, especially at the time where everybody's talking about the Middle East and stuff, it was just so. It was strong. It was a superhero movie. It was like, whoa, like okay, that was a little real.
Real themes.
So like I said, what they did with Tony and the end credit scene with Nick Fury, the Avengers Initiative. Oh, I give it a 9.5. Jon Favreau's the master. But that's our Flashback Friday. If you want more, please subscribe to the channel, and thank you for listening.